I'm Ninon de Rosa, and I'm back again from NinonSpeaks-Media Image Coaching. Yes, I just saw you, and now you've come back, and now you're interested into seeing how you can actually have your internet TV show. How exciting is that? Isn't that amazing that we can actually have this and do this, and it doesn't really cost that much to put it out there and to have it on once a week, once a month, once every 2 months. You can have it on whenever you want. It's up to you how you do that. There's a lot of dedication to having your internet TV show, and you have to be dedicated and you have to be focused on what you want. We have different shows that can actually sell a product. We have shows that you can actually interview people. There's different shows that you can have out there, and that's up to you of what you want to choose. I am here to help you decide what show you want to do, how you want to do it, and how long you want it. All my shows are an hour long. I know that seems a long time, but it isn't. Once you get into it, it's not really long to interview somebody for a whole hour. The thing is to keep your audience captured, to keep the show exciting, to keep it moving, to keep it going. And that's one of the secrets of internet. Internet people seem to like things very, very fast. They seem to like to switch things fast. So you've got to keep them entertained. You've got to keep them where they're going to stay on your station. You've got to keep them wanting to watch you. So you've got to make it exciting enough to do that. So first you've got to find out, how often do you want to do the show? Do you want to do it once a month? Sometimes that might be better for you just to start out. I do my shows every week, so I have 4 shows going on every single week. And of course I have to have the audience for them, and then I have to have the guests. So there's a lot of work that it entails, but soon you sort of get involved in it, in your guests. If you want good guests, what sort of guests do you want? What are you promoting? So I feel that the first thing I want to tell you for free, because this is not costing you anything, and it is really my pleasure to actually help you, because this will help you tremendously. I think what you want to do is you want to actually write something out, exactly what sort of show you want. Is it going to be selling a product? Are you going to have an interview show? And if you're going to have an interview show, what sort of people are you going to interview? You're going to go into politics? Are you going to have a religious show? Are you going to have a health show? There's thousands of shows. Are you going to have a clothing show? Are you going to have a fashion show? There's thousands of different shows that you can have. I think people seem to think there's only one show you can have, and that's a talk show. Well, that's not true. You can have any show you want. And I am here to help you to get into the program and to put this whole thing together of exactly what you want. And it doesn't matter what it is. It truly doesn't matter. It's what you want and how you want to produce it. I will teach you how to produce it. And one of the first things I'm going to actually tell you is to stay focused. Find out what you want to do. Find out if you want a half-hour show or a 1-hour show. I suggest an hour show. I think it will be better for you. And you're going to find out what exactly you're going to do. You're going to be, what do you want to talk? What's the subject you want to talk about? There are several subjects out there. And you've got to get the subject that you're comfortable with, the subject that you're knowledgeable about, so that whenever there is a question coming up or that something comes up, you're able to answer it. You know, as they say, education is the greatest freedom in the world. Well, education and knowing what you're talking about is definitely the greatest freedom in the world for you. You've got to learn how to stay focused. You must stay focused on the show. You have got to listen to every single word your guest says. And if you don't have a guest and it's just about your product, you've got to have every single thing organized as to what you're talking about. You can't skip all over the place. I've been there, done that. It doesn't work. I tried it. I got a little sort of, animated there. But you've got to stay very, very focused. I do a show called Maxed Out Money Hour. That's very much on the financial side of life. It's very much about your finances, about how the banks are working, how are loans working, what's going on in the property, what's going on with the interest rates, what's going on with modification, what's going on with loans. There's so much in that. Well, I happen to know a lot about that because I've been in real estate for the last 3 decades. Whoops, I'm aging myself. 3 decades. But I know about it, so I don't care what anyone shoots at me. I know what's going on in Europe, but I make myself knowledgeable about that by reading up on it, learning about it, and knowing exactly what I'm talking about, so that you don't get stuck, because there's nothing worse than getting stuck. I've touched wood. I haven't been stuck yet, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who would love to sort of ask me a question and I don't know the answer. But I'm sure I'll be able to find an answer somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. Be very focused on where you want to go and how you want to do it. So that's one of the things you need, is to stay focused. And the other thing I'm telling you is to actually have to find out what exactly you're selling, what exactly you're interviewing, and what exactly you want to do. And more than any of that is what you are comfortable in. Stay comfortable in what you are doing and you will come over very relaxed. And also, you must give yourself 1 hour before you start the show. 1 hour. You must come onto it, you turn your computer on, you get onto whatever program you're going to be recording, make sure your guest is in line, make sure everything is organized. So when you actually turn on that button to actually start recording the show, you are prepared, you are awake, and it'll go beautifully. Because if you rush into it and you've always got, oh, I've got to rush for this, I've got to rush for that, it'll never work because you're not concentrated. You've got to stay focused and concentrated. These people, Jimmy Kimmel, I'm going to mention, Jimmy Kimmel is so dedicated to his show, they think that he just comes on stage and does the show. He doesn't. He prepares his show every single day for several hours. That's how dedicated he is. And that's how dedicated you are going to be. You have to be dedicated on how you're going to do it, what you want to talk about, and your guests. Make sure you know your guests. Make sure when you speak to your guests, make sure your guest sends in. I have never, in the 16, I think it's 20 years now that I have been in interviewing and hosting, I have never had a pre-show. I've never pre-interviewed any of my guests ever, because I like it. This is just my idea. I like it very personable. I like it very fresh. And I obviously get their bio. I have their bio and I have their website if they have a website. I get as much information about them. I download it all. I check it all out and I put it all together so that I know exactly that anything, and I can shoot something into them. I can turn around and say, oh, you won an award on such and such a date, or you were speaking at such and such a function, or you were doing a television show, or you had produced something, or you now have a new clothing line out, or you are now, in therapy and you're doing this in therapy. So you learn every single possible thing you can about them, so you can actually ask any question you want. So I guess the thing that I'm trying to put over right now is your preparation must be in order. You must prepare for your show, and you must, and also when you prepare for it and you have all this knowledge, then you feel comfortable. You know that when you're talking to these people and you think there's going to be a dull moment, there'll be never a dull moment. On radio, which we're not doing, we're doing television, radio, you cannot have a dull moment. You have to be talking all the time. And that applies to television as well. You cannot have that dull moment. Even if it's a couple of seconds, you've got to have a continuous, so you've got to sometimes interrupt, when your guest is coming to the end of what they're talking about, and then you come in. Or if your guest is talking too long, you don't want your guest talking too long because that becomes boring. So you've got to sort of pick something out there to throw back in and say, hang in a second, I just want to ask you back on this question. You just talked about this. Can you elaborate on that, or can you tell us more about that? So that's sort of keeping it interesting, and then keeping your audience too. Keeping your audience when you keeping back and forth and back and forth. People like that. They enjoy that. So those are a few hints that I'm dropping to you. But I really would like to have a one-on-one with you, which we can do through Skype, we can do it through Google, we can do it through internet, we can do it any way that you would like. We can do it through phone. I prefer to do it where I can see you, then I can correct you what you're doing at all times. And that's what I want to teach you and help you and coach you on having your own internet TV show. So don't forget to reach out to me at NinonSpeaks.com. You can also email me at Ninon@NinonSpeaks.com. You can also call me at 310-867-5959. I can be reached anywhere. I am not a hidden product. I am out there, and I love being out there. Don't forget to reach out for me, and I can teach you to have your own internet TV show. How exciting is that? Ninon@NinonSpeaks.com. We'll see you soon.